आ रहा है।
स्वस्ति नस्तारित्रो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु।
पंडित जी हाँ यस yes put on yes Jai Gurudev. We'll begin this cosmic adoration to the tradition of our masters who have kept alive pure knowledge and its infinite organizing power from times immemorial, which today we are enjoying. The result that we have seen during the last 36 years of our effort around the world is purification. Purification of individual life and collective life of the whole world and different nations. So, this full moon day today, year after year, we have been celebrating in the memory of Gurudev, feeling the gratitude on the pure knowledge and its infinite organizing power that we received from him, and we are now on the way to the age of enlightenment. More we'll talk about it, but we start with the usual traditional adoration to Gurudev. All will join me. Apavitra pavitro va sarvavasthangato piva yasmaret pundarikaksham sabayabhyantara shuchi avahanam Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktim cha Tatputra Parasharam cha Vyasam Shukam Gaurapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogi Ramatasya Shishyam Shri Shankaracharya Mathasya Padma Padam Jastamalakam Cha Shishyam Tam Trotakam Vatikakaram Asmad Guru Santatamanatosmi Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krito Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Yadvare Nikhila Nilimpa Parishat Siddhim Vidhatte Nisham Srimat Shri Lasitam Jagat Guru Padam Natva Tripting Gata Loka Gyan Payodapatan Dhuram Shri Shankaram Sharmadam Brahmananda Saraswatim Guruvaram Dhyayami Jyotirmayam Vahanam Samarpayami Shri Gurucharan Kamalebhyo Namah Asanam Samarpayami Shri Gurucharan Kamalebhyo Namah Snanam Samarpayami Shri Gurucharan Kamalebhyo Namah Vastram Samarpayami Shri Gurucharan Kamalebhyo Namah Chandanam Samarpayami Shri Gurucharan Kamalebhyo Namah Akshatan Samarpayami Shri Gurucharan Kamalebhyo Namah Pushpam Samarpayami Shri Gurucharan Kamalebhyo Namah Dhupam Samarpayami Shri Gurucharan Kamalebhyo Namah Deepam Samarpayami Shri Gurucharan Kamalebhyo Namah Naivedya Achmanyam Samarpayami Shri Gurucharan Kamalebhyo Namah Naivedyam Samarpayami Shri Gurucharan Kamalebhyo Namah Achmaniyam Samarpayami Shri Gurucharan Kamalebhyo Namah Tambulam Samarpayami Shri Gurucharan Kamalebhyo Namah Shri Phalam Samarpayami Shri Gurucharan Kamalebhyo Namah Haratikhyam Karpura Goram Karunavataram Sansar Saram Vigendraharam Sada Vasantam Hridayarvinde Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami Arartikyam Samarpayami Shri Guru Charan Kamalebhyo Namah Achamaniyam Samarpayami Shri Guru Charan Kamalebhyo Namah
Pushpanjalim Gurur Brahma
Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Khandamandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Brahmanandam Param Sukhadam Kevalam Gyanmurtim Vishwatitam Gagan Sadrisham Tattvamasyaadilakhyam Ekam Nityam Vimalmachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunasahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Agyantimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Pushpanjalim Samarpayami Shri Guru Charan Kamalebhyo Namah Having offered to Gurudev our traditional adoration today on this Guru Purnima day, the full moon day of this year, the occasion inspires me to inaugurate simultaneously today in every country Vedic universities. Vedic universities are universities of consciousness. Consciousness is the most basic element of life. And this has been lacking in modern education. Modern education is science-based education, and science for the last 300-400 years has followed the objective approach to gaining knowledge. This objective approach to gaining knowledge has completely ignored the subjective value of life, the spiritual value of life, the most intimate value of life. And that is the reason why, with all the skills that modern science has developed in handling objectively the world of natural law, handled objectively, but it has failed to unfold the total creative potential of pure subjectivity. The self is untouched. That is the reason why the total development of life is not available through the study of natural law, through modern science. Quite a great strides have been achieved in the objective world, but subjectivity of life did not blossom through this objective approach of modern science. Ancient Vedic wisdom offers total knowledge of life, and total knowledge by mean the knowledge of consciousness, which is subjectivity, objectivity, and the relationship between the two. So these Vedic universities that we are inaugurating in the world today will bring in complete knowledge, and therefore the full creative potential of life will be unfolded on the level of the individual, on the level of the national life, on the level of the world life. And this year, now after 36 years of teaching transcendental meditation in the world and unfolding the creative potential of the self throughout the world, what was felt was that the people, whatever their understanding about life, they continue to suffer in many ways. And there is only one cause of suffering, the violation of natural law. The knowledge of natural law received from the objective approach of modern science does not unfold the subjective value. And therefore, whatever people think, they consider, they live life, they don't live their own self in life. They don't live the full creative potential of life. And therefore, it's very, very necessary, now that we have developed complete knowledge of natural law, thanks to the tradition of the ancient tradition of perfect knowledge, the Vedic knowledge. And at this stage, I would like to thank President Sichano of Mozambique to have given a proof of practical utilization of this wisdom of natural law on the national level. It's a very great joy to give expression to the great work done by President Sichano in verifying that the program of this practical utilization of natural law has worked in the country. Peace has been created, political peace has been created, which is a very, very Herculean task, but that has been achieved. And so many World Peace Assemblies have been held during the past 36 years now. With all that, we possess today a proven technology of consciousness for the well-being, peace and prosperity of every country collectively and every individual in the world. inspired with this achievement. Now the aspiration is to have universities, colleges, schools of this Vedic studies, Vedic knowledge, the complete knowledge of life. Universities of total knowledge, universities of consciousness, everywhere. So it's very timely that on the basis of proven program, today we are inaugurating simultaneously in all the countries Vedic universities for complete enlightenment and Ayurvedic universities for perfect health in all the countries. It's very, this aspiration to establish so many universities in all the countries comes from three values. One, that we possess today the complete knowledge of consciousness. Second, we have proven the practicality of this knowledge and usefulness of this knowledge for life. And thirdly, the time demands that the age-old suffering should be now banned. I am using the word banned in the presence of President Sichano on the political level. Either you permit or you ban. The time is now to ban suffering. It's completely possible to ban suffering through this knowledge. And the centers of knowledge we are opening today everywhere. People make mistakes because education has not properly trained them to not make mistakes. If a good surgeon is properly trained, he doesn't make a mistake. If he is not properly trained, he just must make mistakes. So all the mistakes that the people make in their own life, in their environment, for others and everything, any mistake means lack of proper education. Lack of proper education. There has been a tradition thousands of years in the field of governments. They don't train the people properly, and when they make a mistake, put them to jail. It's the inefficiency of education. That means it's the inefficiency of governmental responsibilities to put a man to prison. If a man fights on the street, it means he is not properly educated. If a man tries to serve his own emotions at the cost of others' interests, that means he is not properly educated. So through education, it's completely possible to create a mistake-free civilization, a problem-free society, a problem-free government. What we see in contradiction to this is governments are all full of problems. When the governments are full of problems, how can the governed community could be free from problems? If the light is green, then it will have the green scenery there. If the government is enlightened, if the government can unfold the full creative potential of the individual, and the full creative potential of the individual is cosmic order, the order that prevails in the galactic world. What a terrific dynamism in the universe. But it's maintained spontaneously in the perfect order, no clash anywhere. When such a government of the universe could be maintained on the perfect order, why can't small territories be maintained on perfect order. Now we have the knowledge, that complete knowledge of consciousness. In Vedic field, there are 27 disciplines. Just like in modern science, we have disciplines of physics, chemistry, and so many. So in the Vedic field, there are 27 disciplines of Vedic science. It's very fortunate that with the knowledge that we received from Gurudev, we have sorted out the entire field of complete knowledge of consciousness. All the 27 fundamental qualities of consciousness. All the fundamental qualities of consciousness, 27 in number, have been so beautifully understood, have been interconnected with each other, because consciousness is a field, unified field. In its self-referral state, it is undivided, it's pure singularity, pure wakefulness, the field of all possibilities. And the interconnectedness of the 27 qualities of consciousness, when enlivened in human awareness or in the national consciousness, the interconnectedness of life, of all the differences inside the cells of the human body, or within the national consciousness, all the millions of people in the nation. This knowledge, enlivened in one's awareness, makes every thought and action completely coherent, in perfect harmony with everything else. So this huge diversity of the universe, sustained by that integrated, unified state of pure singularity, which is the field of all possibility. When this is enlivened, and 10-12 years of student life is completely enough for everyone to enliven this total possibility in his awareness, and then he will spontaneously function with that perfect order with which all this galactic structure of the universe functions. Having this knowledge, we are absolutely tempted to do it very quickly, and now that very fortunate president of a sovereign country, Mozambique, President Sachano, has created an example. And this example will be followed by all the heads of states in the world. This is the reality of today. And that is why, with this evidence of the practical utilization of this knowledge of the Vedic science, knowledge of consciousness, which includes within its fold all the knowledge of modern science, we have amongst us the greatest unifier of the world, Dr. Hagelin, who is the pioneer in the field of unifying all the forces of nature. He is in the front line of the researchers in the field of unified field of natural law. And this matches with the unified field of natural law as brought out by Rig Veda. If we take it as a book, then it is the first book of creation. First book of creation, collection of all the laws of nature in their unified state and in their diversified state. It's like a constitution of a country where all the laws are inscribed. So this Rig Veda we have found as unified field with reference to modern science. We have found it to be the constitution of the universe. It's a very great discovery that human awareness now can enliven the total constitution of the universe, on the basis of which all possibilities in perfect order would become a daily experience of everyone's daily life. with this enormous upsurge of knowledge, we feel really, really very bold that the day is not far from mankind, that there will be order in the midst of the international world. There will be order in the life of the individual. Spontaneously everyone will think and act and behave according to all the laws of nature, when the unified field will be lively in one's consciousness, and it will be made lively in the national consciousness through these groups of flyers. Groups of flyers in the country radiate. There is a great size of the, it's like the knowledge of the sap in a tree. The knowledge of sap in a tree. The gardener knows what to do on the level of the sap so that to create a bigger flower or a bigger fruit or more green leaves and thicker trunk of the tree. Someone who has the knowledge of the basic value of the tree, the sap, will be able to do anything that he likes for the whole tree. Like that, with the knowledge of consciousness, it will be completely possible to have the process of evolution, which is a natural process of evolution in any direction according to will. And this will be the capacity of every government now through this education of Vedic universities which we are establishing today. It's a very good, great new sunshine for the world. The basis of this is knowledge and its application. Knowledge is profound. One thing is very interesting for us to know, that this constitution of the universe, which governs orderly functioning of all the infinitely expanded galactic world, that constitution of the universe is inscribed in our physiology. Total natural law, the structure of total natural law is the structure of human physiology. That is abstractly the structure of the national consciousness. That is the structure of the world consciousness. That is the structure of the universe consciousness. And now we have a very simple ways of this meditation and the script of that in the books of the Vedic literature and the physiology. When one reads the Vedic literature, the Veda, the literature that is the basis of human physiology, reverberates. And reverberating, it gets the ability for a coordinated functioning. The total physiology functions. 2 years ago, Dr. Lubimov of Russia, he had been doing research in brain neurology, and he came out to say that the meditators, those who practice transcendental meditation, they perform from the total brain. Otherwise, the vision or hearing or taste or touch, they come from some specific areas of the brain. But those who practice transcendental meditation, they display the functioning of total brain physiology functions. And this functioning of the total human brain is in perfect harmony with that total functioning of the universe, where everything is orderly and well connected with everything else. So if we can train the human physiology, that will be matching for its function with the cosmic physiology, where there is no default, where there is no accident, where there is no mistake. So to have mistake-free life under all circumstances, what is necessary is to have that broad vision which comes from the total brain physiology functioning. It's very great day for me to announce that the research scholars, the professors, the great professors in Maharishi Ayurveda, in our Vedic universities, they are actually calculating different specific fibers in the whole brain physiology, human physiology, that match with the structure of the Veda. Veda is pure knowledge. Pure knowledge means the knower, the known, and the process of knowing. All the three values, subjective, objective, and their unification. So these researches that they are making has given us very great confidence that human physiology can certainly be trained to spontaneously make use of all the laws of nature in their thought, in their speech, in their action, in their behavior. That kind of society we are going to create now. It's necessary that the leaders of this knowledge are created in society so that spontaneously they will maintain mistake-free life on earth. Mistake-free life on earth. Very soon we'll have teacher training programs in the field of consciousness throughout the world, and in their own language, in their own countries, they'll be teaching to the students. And this is an addition to what modern science has provided. Modern science has provided through control of natural law to a great extent, through objective approach. Now this Vedic science, through its subjective approach, will unfold the total potential of life. There is a great record in the Vedic literature of all possibilities being exhibited by the people. All possibilities. So it's a very great joy to inaugurate today simultaneously in all parts of the world the Vedic universities and Ayurvedic universities. And now we'll continue the ways of joyfulness of today's celebration.
It's a great joy to welcome everyone from around the world to this celebration at Maharishi Vedic University in Vlodrop in Holland. Today, as is the tradition, the annual tradition, Maharishi is conducting a global celebration of the festival, the full moon, when the fullness of knowledge is celebrated. And the Vedic tradition is honored and revered and thanked for passing this ancient wisdom that Maharishi has just described through the ages to us in the modern times, to use and enjoy and to create a world free from all suffering and all problems. Today, Maharishi has begun in this celebration to honor his own master and teacher, Gurudev, the embodiment of pure knowledge. And in the adoration of this great embodiment of pure knowledge, we actually actualize the purpose of supreme knowledge and its infinite organizing power. It becomes actualized on the level of whole nations, and on this occasion, on the basis of this great inspiration of revering and respecting and adoring the great teachers of this tradition, Maharishi has been so inspired that he wanted to inaugurate worldwide all of the Maharishi Vedic universities and Maharishi Ayurveda universities. He has explained that from today will be beginning in countries all over the world, Maharishi Vedic universities for enlightenment and Maharishi Ayurveda universities for perfect health. One of each in each nation, and then in the provinces of each nation, colleges and schools of this great wisdom of Maharishi Vedic University and Maharishi Ayurveda University. So the resolution today on this festival of Guru Purnima being globally celebrated from Maharishi Vedic University in Holland is that the whole world population should be educated in this great knowledge as soon as possible, both for enlightenment and for perfect health. We are also joyfully celebrating today the presence of a very great man, the head of state of the Republic of Mozambique, His Excellency President Chissano, who is going to be honored today during this festival with the honorary doctorate in political science for his great achievement in practically demonstrating the effects of this knowledge. We are connected today to Washington, D.C., amongst all the nations of the world that are being connected. We are connected to Washington, D.C., where 2,700 experts in this program of knowledge, particularly in the expertise in yogic flying, are gathered to create a global demonstration to the governments and scientists of the world of the effects of these programs, of this knowledge of consciousness and research in consciousness in reducing violence and creating peace and creating good fortune, support of natural law to the United States, to its president, and to the world. This is once again a demonstration required to convince all the scientists of the world that this phenomenon is in fact the solution to the otherwise unsolvable problems of the world. But our honored guest, who we honor today, President Chissano, has already actually practically demonstrated the effectiveness of this knowledge. He has created in the last months the Maharishi effect in his nation. That is, the creation of a coherent influence in the national confluence in consciousness through the practice of Maharishi's transcendental meditation and TM City program by large numbers of the population. And the result has been quite spectacular and a true and great demonstration of the power of this knowledge. He has demonstrated on the national level the effect of this kind of knowledge of the Ved. And he has created peace. And we are very honored to have him here today with all of his delegation, including many of the great ministers of the government and members of his family. We have seen that after the introduction of this knowledge in the Republic of Mozambique, there was a report that went around the world of the great change that the president had been able to effect in the destiny of his nation. A report, for example, from the New York Times, February the 22nd of this year, states, Mozambique has unexpectedly emerged as a candidate for an African success story. A ruthless drought has been broken by quenching rains, and the country is carpeted with corn. Quote, we've got a combination of peace and rain, which there hasn't been in Mozambique for a quarter of a century, marveled Arthur M. Hussey III, coordinator of relief deliveries for CARE. Foreign donors and diplomats speak of Mozambique with an optimism that surprises them. Cities that had swollen with peasants are now spilling their crowds back into the countryside. And a few days later, the New York Times again reported, finally, someplace fed up enough to stop fighting. A longing for peace in Mozambique is overwhelming. and Mozambique has a fertile landscape in florid recovery from a 2-year drought. So this is the beautiful result of the rise of peace in the nation that has been achieved through the great wisdom of His Excellency and all of his leaders in the government in introducing this great knowledge to his people, and has really created an example for all the presidents of all the nations of the world to follow. This is a great occasion of the Guru Purnima festival celebrated from Maharishi Vedic University in Holland, when we can welcome to this university for the first time and honor His Excellency Joaquim Alberto Chissano, the President of the Republic of Mozambique, and I would ask everyone to welcome him now and express our appreciation. I would also like to introduce at this time a number of our other special guests at this global celebration. First, Her Excellency Marcelina Chissano, the First Lady of Mozambique. And the daughters of the President and First Lady, Martina and Rosa Chissano. His Excellency Dr. Pascal Manuel Mokumbi, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Mozambique. His Excellency Dr. Enayas Komichi, the Minister of Finance of Mozambique. His Excellency Jacinto Suarez Veloso, the Minister of Cooperation.
Minister of Income. Minister of Income. Oh, he didn't come. Oh.
Yes. His Excellency Dr. Daniel Gabriel Tembe, the Minister of Commerce. Lieutenant General Tobias Dai, Chief of the Army of Mozambique. Her Excellency Francis Rodriguez, the Ambassador to Holland of Mozambique. And His Excellency E. Murargi, who is the Ambassador to France. Yes. We are very proud and honored to have this distinguished delegation from the Republic of Mozambique here today, and we are very delighted that a little later in our celebration we will be presenting the scroll of presentation of the Honorary Doctorate of Political Science from Maharishi Vedic University to His Excellency the President. "36 years ago, His Holiness Maharishi Mahesh Yogi altered the course of human history by bringing to light from the ancient Vedic wisdom transcendental pure consciousness as the infinite unified source of all nature's creativity, intelligence, and organizing power. and by providing a simple and natural and effortless means for every human being to directly experience transcendental pure consciousness and thereby harness nature's creativity, intelligence, and organizing power. Like watering the root of life, this directly nourished all aspects of human existence: physiological, psychological, sociological, and ecological. And every year since then, since 1957, has been a great step forward in Maharishi's worldwide movement of consciousness. He opened this ancient wisdom to scientific study. And since the first scientific studies, there have now been 500 scientific studies from 214 different universities in 27 countries that have confirmed the great benefits of this ancient Vedic wisdom. He toured the world 10 times, establishing this knowledge in more than 100 countries. And as a result, there are more than 4 million practitioners of his transcendental meditation, 25,000 trained teachers of transcendental meditation, and over 80,000 experts in the techniques of the TM City program and yogic flying. In 1972, he structured a world plan to bring this knowledge systematically to every population center in every country. By 1974, this had culminated in the discovery of the Maharishi effect, that even 1% of a population practicing transcendental meditation could reduce crime and violence in a city and increase positivity and confidence and all good, hopeful trends in that population. Through this discovery, Maharishi was able to see through the window of science the dawn of a new era for human life, the Age of Enlightenment, which he inaugurated in 1975. Soon, through his examination of the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Maharishi was able to bring out the TM City program and yogic flying, a program that created such powerful coherence that even the square root of 1% of a population could, practicing just those technologies quietly in one place, bring peace to trouble spots and bring about a transformation of all the trends of time in the area where that technology was practiced. And eventually, the power of this technology has brought, through Maharishi's global efforts, peace between the superpowers to the benefit of the whole human race. At the same time, Maharishi was bringing out the total knowledge of the Ved and the Vedic literature and all the Vedic technologies of consciousness. He unfolded the extraordinary sequence of the Vedic literature called the Aparishaya Bhashya, unknown for thousands of years. He brought out all the different aspects of the Vedic literature with their practical applications to life, such as Maharishi Ayurveda for natural health care, for perfect health and a disease-free society, Maharishi Jyotish and Maharishi Yagya for the prediction of the future and the prevention of oncoming calamities for life, Maharishi Gandharva, the music of nature to create harmony in the environment, Maharishi Stapachya to create buildings and cities and a whole world where everything is a garden and everything built according to natural law. Most fundamentally, he brought out the Rig Veda, the primordial sounds of the Rig Veda, as the constitution of the universe, just last year. The constitution of the universe, which is the self-referral dynamism of the unified field, which is the source of all the order and harmony in the universe. And he brought to the message to the governments of the world, the heads of state of the world, that simply by aligning the constitution of the nation with the constitution of the universe, it would be possible to create administration through natural law. Administration in the nation that was on a par with the administration of the universe by natural law, an administration that is perfectly orderly, integrated, harmonious, and successful. On the basis of all these great discoveries of knowledge and their application and their proof in the world, and on the basis of the fact that the time demands this knowledge, that there is no other solution in existence to the fundamental problems of the world, Maharishi has announced in his master plan to create heaven on earth a vision of the total inner and outer glorification of life. Inner glorification through the developing of higher states of consciousness and noble qualities and bliss, and outer glorification through all aspects of the Vedic wisdom applied to the creation of perfect health, of perfect purity of the environment, of nourishing and perfect food, of ideal cities, of ideal life in every aspect, ideal education. So this is the vision over 36 years that Maharishi has unfolded in an extraordinary life of supreme achievement, of bringing the greatest wisdom of all cultures really, and the great Vedic wisdom to the entire world in his Vedic science and technology, to create a heavenly age for all human beings to enjoy. We are so happy that this has begun now in the Republic of Mozambique through the wisdom of His Excellency the President. And now I would like to ask that more insight be given into this discovery of the constitution of the universe and its application from the perspective of modern science by the great scientist Dr. John Hagelin. Dr. Hagelin, one of the leading physicists of this age in the discovery of the unified field theory, which completely unifies all the laws of nature in a single fundamental universal field. Dr. Hagelin, having discovered this from the perspective of modern science, has worked with Maharishi from the perspective of the ancient Vedic wisdom to understand how this unified field of natural law is the constitution of the universe, and how it can be seen on the basis of research in modern science and in the ancient Vedic science, that the unified field of natural law and consciousness are one and the same. Dr. Hagelin, through his great inspiration of the practical proof of this knowledge, last year felt it was his responsibility to run for President of the United States on the platform of the Natural Law Party there. And he has brought to President Clinton's awareness and to the awareness of the whole of that powerful nation this most profound and fundamental knowledge of natural law, which is truly the hope of humanity. Dr. Hagelin is currently the director of the Institute of Science, Technology, and Public Policy, and the director of the PhD program in physics at Maharishi International University, and is currently the chief organizer of this great global demonstration of 2,700 people gathered in Washington, D.C. to create a coherent Washington for an improved Washington, crime-free Washington, improved performance of the United States in relationship to the entire world. It's my pleasure to ask Dr. John Hagelin to now address this global celebration of Guru Purnima in the presence of His Holiness Maharishi Mahesh Yogi and in the presence of His Excellency, the President of Mozambique. Dr. John Hagelin.
Your Holiness Maharishi, Your Excellency President Chisano, distinguished guests from around the world. Today, we are in the midst of the most profound revolution in the history of knowledge. We are witnessing the emergence of an entirely new paradigm that is changing our civilization in unprecedented ways. For we stand in possession of total knowledge, the scientific knowledge of the unified field of all the laws of nature, and the technology to apply it to alleviate acute social problems and transform society at its basis. Modern science, through its highly systematic, objective approach, has historically uncovered deeper levels of scientific knowledge, from the macroscopic realm of classical physics to the quantum mechanical domain of atomic, nuclear, and subnuclear worlds. This 300-year evolution of scientific knowledge has culminated in the recent discovery of a level of nature's dynamics that is completely unified and universal in its nature. The unified field, or superstring field, fulfilling Einstein's quest for a single unified geometric foundation for all the laws of nature. At the same time, the revitalization of ancient Vedic science by His Holiness Maharishi Mahesh Yogi has brought a profound understanding of this same unified field of nature's intelligence, along with highly practical procedures to apply this most fundamental knowledge of natural law for the benefit of mankind. The application of this new knowledge has already demonstrated its capacity to create a quality of life and civilization far beyond that which was possible based on previous levels of scientific knowledge. For whereas previous levels of scientific knowledge were concerned with the partial understanding and technological application of specific isolated laws of nature, such as electromagnetic, chemical, and nuclear technologies, the unified field theories of modern physics and Maharishi's Vedic science are concerned with holistic knowledge, with the total knowledge of natural law. Previous technologies based on partial and fragmented knowledge offered specific, localized benefits with long-term negative side effects. In many cases, these side effects were as deadly and as costly as the problems they intended to cure. Today, we have reached a point where we need holistic knowledge of natural law and holistic life-supporting technologies based on total knowledge, free of negative side effects. This knowledge is available today. Its practical effectiveness has been confirmed by hundreds of scientific research studies performed at more than 200 universities and research institutes throughout the world. It offers proven solutions to acute social problems that have resisted solutions through conventional approaches based on previous levels of scientific knowledge. And its application is simple. Because although the holistic level of natural law, the unified field, is beyond the reach of modern microscopes and the largest particle accelerators, it is not beyond the reach of the human mind. Through the systematic technologies of Maharishi's Vedic science, the Transcendental Meditation and TM City program, human awareness can easily explore and experience deeper levels of intelligence of the mind, corresponding to deeper levels of intelligence of nature. This inward exploration quickly culminates in the experience of a level of intelligence that is completely unified and universal in its nature, the experience of the unified field itself. Regular practice gives intimate familiarity with the total range of natural law, from unity to diversity, and enlivens the unified field of all the laws of nature in the nature of the mind. As the individual mind becomes established in the totality of knowledge, the total potential of natural law, one gains the fruit of all knowledge, the ability to think and act spontaneously in harmony with natural law. Action in accord with natural law brings freedom from mistakes and problems. It brings growing support of nature to individual and national life. Conversely, it is the inadvertent violation of natural law by so many citizens that is responsible for mounting stress, declining health, and the broad spectrum of social problems. It is both remarkable and fortunate that the practical application of the most advanced scientific knowledge of natural law, the knowledge of the unified field, is essentially spontaneous. It is the automatic result of opening human awareness to its unified source in the unified field, and thereby enlivening the totality of natural law in the individual mind. And now, His Excellency President Chissano of Mozambique has shown that the application of this knowledge to society is equally spontaneous. When the individual citizens of a nation, or even a relatively small subpopulation, a group of 7,000, practices the TM and TM City program, natural law gets enlivened in the life of the whole population. The trends of society take a more positive, evolutionary direction. Research has found that crime and violent tendencies decrease, as do accidents, hospital admissions, and other indicators of social stress, born of the violation of natural law. As citizens grow in harmony with natural law and live a life spontaneously in accord with natural law, society effectively governs itself with the same natural efficiency and effectiveness with which nature governs this immensely complex universe, free from mistakes and problems. Until now, education has failed to bring the life of the nation into full accord with natural law. This is because, one, the knowledge of natural law has been incomplete. No systematic understanding of the total range of natural law has been available. And two, purely intellectual study of the laws of nature is not enough to ensure that life is lived in accord with natural law. It takes an integrated approach of knowledge and experience to fully enliven natural law in the nature of the mind, and to bring thought and action spontaneously into accord with natural law. Now, through Maharishi, and through the grace of Gurudev and the holy tradition of Vedic masters, we have the precious knowledge and practical programs to live spontaneously in accord with natural law, and to bring the support of nature to create problem-free nations. And thus we recognize and celebrate the leadership of His Excellency President Chissano, for he is among the first to take this most advanced and profound scientific knowledge of natural law and apply it to uplift the quality of life of his people and to bring the support of natural law to Mozambique. His profound vision and his enlightened leadership is an inspiration to heads of state throughout the world. At the same time, it is heartening to see that a global demonstration of this same knowledge and technology is underway in Washington, D.C. As of today, almost 3,000 experts in the TM and TM City program from around the world have gathered there to participate in large group meditations to reduce crime and social stress, to create coherence and collective consciousness, and to bring the support of nature to America. And since the demonstration started, with a somewhat smaller group on the 7th of June, we have seen a highly significant drop in violent crime and a complete turnaround in the success of President Clinton's administration, just as we predicted. The scientists have told me this morning that this reduction in crime is so significant, even in the first 3 weeks of this global demonstration, that the probability that this reduction in crime could be due to chance is less than 1 part per million. Such experiences in Washington and in Mozambique, through the enlightened leadership of President Chissano, have brought us to a turning point in history. They not only provide an experimental confirmation of the existence of the unified field proposed by modern physics, but of its immense practical significance for solving acute social problems through the experiential technologies of Maharishi's Vedic science. These great achievements have led to the inauguration of Maharishi Vedic universities and Maharishi Ayurvedic universities in the United States and throughout the world. For once, the profound significance of Maharishi's Vedic science and technology has been practically demonstrated for mankind. Clearly, we need new universities and a new style of education to disseminate this knowledge. We need universities for the study and application of consciousness, the unified field of all the laws of nature, identified by modern physics and fully brought to light for both its theoretical and applied value by Maharishi's Vedic science. In these Vedic universities, which Maharishi has inaugurated today, we will train the future leadership, enlightened leaders, who will create and maintain enlightened societies everywhere throughout the world. For this achievement, we owe a debt of gratitude to His Excellency President Chissano, for offering to the world a highly practical demonstration of how to use this precious knowledge to transform the life of a nation. And of course, we owe a supreme debt of gratitude to His Holiness Maharishi, to Sri Gurudev, and to the holy tradition of Vedic masters for preserving and expounding this timeless wisdom of life, which is bringing the support of nature to every nation and creating heaven on earth in our generation. Jai Gurudev.
Thank you very much, Dr. Hegelin. Maharishi Vedic University is the university of total knowledge, in which everyone can rise to full enlightenment in a systematic and scientific way and enjoy the fruit of all knowledge on the ground of study and research in consciousness. At Maharishi Vedic University, we offer enlightenment first and then professional training. Maharishi Vedic University offers not only the knowledge of different disciplines, but development of the total creative genius of the student, and trains the student to gain the support of nature to achieve anything without stress and strain. Such is the uniqueness and profound value of the knowledge being offered through Maharishi Vedic University and through Maharishi Ayurveda University, that it can be applied not only for the good of the students at the university, but for the benefit of the society as a whole. This is the fulfillment of the age-long quest of the wise and experienced educators of the world to evolve a perfect system of education which could create a perfect man and a perfect society. Our universities, universities of consciousness, offering the supreme knowledge of Maharishi's Vedic technologies of consciousness, of the development of higher consciousness, to bring harmony with natural law and support of natural law, combining both objective and subjective approaches to gaining knowledge in an approach encompassing complete knowledge, all knowledge, is honored today to present to His Excellency President Chissano the honorary doctorate in political science for his great achievement in demonstrating the power of this knowledge on a national scale in his nation. A scroll has been prepared to be the presentation of this degree, and I would like now to read this scroll to His Excellency the President, to his family, to the members of the cabinet and ambassadors, and to all those present here, Vedic pundits, research scholars of Maharishi Vedic University and Maharishi Ayurveda University, and to all the enlightened people gathered all around the world today who are watching us by satellite broadcast. In Maharishi's presence, I will now read this scroll. It says, Maharishi Vedic University, and then on the top there is a picture of Maharishi, His Holiness Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, founder of Maharishi's Vedic Science and Technology of Consciousness, the Transcendental Meditation and TM City program, Maharishi Vedic Universities around the world, Maharishi International University, USA, supreme political science on the basis of his commentary of Rig Veda and the discovery of the constitution of the universe in Rig Veda, and the discovery of Rig Veda in the simplest state of human consciousness, and the discovery of the constitution of the universe, Rig Veda, in the human physiology and in every grain of creation. Founder of the program of a group for a government to bring the support of the government of nature to all governments in the world, to perpetuate an enriching alliance between the man-made constitutions of all governments of the world and the eternal constitution of the government of nature, to enable every government to satisfy everyone at all times. And then, across the top, Maharishi Vedic University has the great joy of welcoming His Excellency Joaquim Alberto Chissano, President of the Republic of Mozambique, during its annual celebration of the full moon, Guru Purnima celebrations on 3 July 1993. Your Excellency, we welcome you as the first enlightened ruler of the world in this scientific age, who has brought the support of the nourishing power of natural law to create peace, the basis of all prosperity and progress for the 16 million people of the Republic of Mozambique. Today, when all the governments of the world are demonstrating failures in their administration, Your Excellency's government of Mozambique has demonstrated the supreme skill of administration, which has set an example of an ideal government for all governments of the world to follow. Maharishi Vedic University honors Your Excellency as the wisest ruler in the world today, the first to create integrated national consciousness, the first to create integrated national consciousness through a group for a government, and initiate the dawn of administration through natural law. Maharishi Vedic University is proud to proclaim that Your Excellency has revived the exalted royal tradition of perfect government through natural law, and has offered to the world the supreme formula of administration. Your Excellency, you stand today as a guiding light for all heads of state in the world. In recognition of your pioneering contribution in the science and technology of public administration, Maharishi Vedic University congratulates you for your achievement of creating peace, political peace, in the Republic of Mozambique, and confers upon you an honorary doctoral degree in political science. Then there is a picture of His Excellency. Underneath it, it says, His Excellency Joaquim Alberto Chissano, President of the Republic of Mozambique. And the text continues. The supreme political science that you have displayed in your administration will always remain a royal road of success for every government in the world. Throughout the ages, the great and most successful rulers of the world have followed the same royal road of success, engaging the infinite organizing power of natural law to guide the destiny of their nation. Exalted tradition of supreme rulership. When we turn to the records of the golden times of ancient civilizations, we find there was a time when this formula of administration through natural law was widely applied, and the government was in alliance with the government of nature. The ancient Vedic literature records such a period of ideal civilization under just such a perfect government through natural law. And then a quotation. In the reign of Ram, there was no one who suffered from bodily pains, ill fortune, or evil circumstances. Every man loved his neighbor and contented with the state of life to which he had been born, conformed to the teaching of Scripture and sound morality. Everyone enjoyed the blessedness of highest heaven. Everyone was comely and sound of body. No one was in poverty, in sorrow, or in distress. No one was ignorant or unlucky. All men and women were unaffectedly good and pious, clever and intelligent. Everyone appreciated the merits of his neighbor and was himself learned and wise. Everyone was grateful for kindness and guilelessly prudent. This is from the Ramayan, the Ramcharit Manas, 7:21-4. This was the time of administration through natural law, and throughout the world we find instances where the ruling dynasties took pride in associating their rulership with this supreme rulership of Ram. The name of the greatest Western empire, Rome, comes from the name of Ram, and the name of the first king, Romulus, was also derived from the name of Ram. In the administration of the later Macedonian dynasty for 150 years, the kings took the name of Romanus. The ancient grandsire of Israel, Abraham, was first Abram, and also a later king of the Israelites was called J-Ram. The pharaohs of Egypt derived their authority of ruling from the ruler Ra, the life-giving sun, which spontaneously rules the entire solar system through the power of nourishing and maintains evolution of everything, everywhere, at all times. It is this nourishing ability that makes the ruler self-sufficient and bestows on him absolute rulership. This is the quality of rulership of Ram, which makes Ram a desirable word to adore the name of any ruler. One of the most famous dynasties in the history of ancient Egypt was that of Ramses, 12 great kings of Egypt named after Ram. In China, the Chinese word closest to Ram is the word for the dragon, which is the symbol of the emperor who has command over death and reigns over immortality. In more modern times, the kings of Thailand have for 9 generations in an unbroken line since 1782 taken the name Rama. In Turkey, for over 200 years, the Seljuk Empire had 12 sultans of Ram. And in Spain, for 200 years, many of the monarchs of the Second Moorish Emirate were called Ab-e-Rahman, as also later the kingdoms of Leon, Navarre, Aragon, and Catalonia. Many kings of those kingdoms were named Ramero, or Ramus, or Ramon. In Russia, the Romanov dynasty ruled for more than 300 years. In Madagascar, for nearly 100 years, the queens were named Rama Valona. And in Germany, France, Ghana, Great Britain, Indonesia, Iraq, India, Honduras, Kenya, Japan, Italy, the Philippines, Greece, Chile, Cuba, Czechoslovakia, Afghanistan, the ancient kingdom of Antioch, the Middle East and ancient Arabia, Argentina, ancient Babylonia, Canada, Tanzania in Africa, and in many other countries, there were rulers, presidents, and heads of state whose administrative dignity was adorned by the name Ram, indicating that the ideal of their government was as supreme and authentic as the government of nature, the government of the universe. We find in the ancient records of India and in Japan, throughout West Africa, Scandinavia, Polynesia, throughout the Pacific, in Sudan, Ireland, Vietnam, ancient Babylonia, again in China, in the ancient kingdom of Sumer, in the ancient kingdom of Ur in ancient Egypt, in the Hellenic times of Alexander the Great, in ancient Mexico and Peru, in Homeric Greece, in all these most ancient civilizations of the world, kings were spoken of as divine custodians of natural law. In many cases in ancient North America, in the emperors of Japan, and in the pharaohs of Egypt, we find that the kings belong to the same dynasty as Lord Ram, members of the Sun dynasty that rule in the nourishing tradition of the life-giving sun. More than 1,000 places in the name of Ram on the world map indicate the rule of Ram throughout time around the globe. It is very fair to say from ancient historical records, in terms of its antiquity, its ubiquity, its extraordinary staying power as a tradition in the civilizations of the world, that divine rule, administration through natural law, has always been the ideal of government in the exalted name of Ram. Fortunately, this historic tradition of administration through the support of natural law has now been revived by your skillful rulership, which has demonstrated the practicality of administration through natural law. On the fertile ground of peace that Your Excellency has established in the Republic of Mozambique, we foresee the actualization of the ideal of administration through natural law. We honor your exemplary role for the whole population of the country and your outstanding exalted ability to bring satisfaction to all the people of the Republic of Mozambique. Dear President Chissano, in you we find the lively spirit of supreme political ideals, which have been practiced by all the fortunate rulers of the world throughout the ages. As Ram has been the title of adoration of all the great rulers of the world, we would like to associate your rulership with the supreme rulership of Ram. We therefore hail you, hold you, praise you, and adore you in the name of Ram. Hail President Joaquim Alberto Chissano Rama. We hail you, President Joaquim Alberto Chissano Rama, as the first enlightened president of the Republic of Mozambique. We hail you, President Joaquim Alberto Chissano Rama, as the first enlightened president of all the African nations. We hail you, President Joaquim Alberto Chissano Rama, as the first enlightened president of the whole world in this scientific age. Long live the ideal ruler of the Republic of Mozambique, President Joaquim Alberto Chissano Rama. And now, our host for these celebrations in Holland, the leader of our Maharishi's movement of consciousness in the Netherlands, Mr. Jacques Ayen, will place a ceremonial sash around the shoulders of His Excellency President Chissano Rama in honor of his receipt of the honorary doctorate at this time. Chissano Rama. Hail President Chissano Rama.
Hail President Chissano Rama. Hail President Chissano Rama! Hail President Chissano Rama!
And now I would like to invite His Excellency to come to the podium to receive this scroll and to address this global celebration at this moment.
Your Holiness, Maharishi Yogi, Your Excellencies, dear friends, we feel humbled by the way you are receiving our visit. We feel humbled by the words of praise which you are presenting to our country, you are presenting to our people, which you are presenting to our delegation, and particularly are humbling us your words addressed to me personally. We are humbled because these praises are praises not only to us, but may people get confused and think that we are the makers of peace in Mozambique, or that we are the makers of all the good things which may happen in Mozambique. We know also that elsewhere someone is pointing his fingers at us, not as the makers of good things, but someone is pointing his fingers at us as the makers of all the evil, all the bad things which are happening or which have happened in Mozambique. But they also are mistaken. We are not the makers of neither the bad things nor the good things. The bad things in Mozambique are a result of a combination of many factors. Since immemorial times, we are young people, and we are asking ourselves many questions. What would be Mozambique if the Portuguese didn't come? What would be Mozambique if the Arabs didn't come? What would be Mozambique if the Indians didn't come? What would be Mozambique if the Chinese didn't come? Mozambique is a crossroad of many civilizations. Mozambique has known many experiences, but the land of Mozambique has been always there. It has its own history, its own natural history. Mozambique has had contacts with people who came from other parcels of this world where they lived spiritual and material life. and they came to Mozambique and they found people there, it would be difficult to pinpoint what went wrong in a given moment, because many things happened. I think it's a combination of all of this which made Mozambique to be what it was in that century when Musa, the name Mozambique comes from Musa, was ruling the island of Mozambique. And there was a development. Good things would happen in a certain occasion, and then bad things again. Wars, violence, people would be killed. Recently we had to fight for our liberation, for our independence, and that was in 1964, that we had to take guns and fight for our independence. Was it necessary? We argued that yes, it was necessary, but why was it necessary? We argued that someone was stubborn. The Portuguese colonialists were stubborn, but why were they stubborn? We can put these questions on and on. Why did we win independence in 1975? And why, just 1 year later, the war came back into the country and thousands of people were killed? And we may put the question, why did we talk with the very same people who would justify the reason of the killings? The South African regime, the Jan Smith regime, and those who didn't want freedom of Mozambique. We came to talk to them. They started changing. Why? Well, I could not find the answers to this until that old man, we call him old man, but he's not that much old, the former president of Zambia, Dr. Kaunda, thought about us, and he sent us a note introducing us to Maharishi's representatives. I received Dr. Carly King, who is here, and his wife, Caroline, who is here, and Jose Luis, who is there. They came with that letter from Dr. Kaunda, who was just saying, please receive these people who may help your country. Please listen to what they are going to tell you. I read the letter carefully. I said, it's better I listen to what they have to tell me. Unfortunately, I had no time, because we were already negotiating for peace, and I had to concentrate on those matters. So I heard them. I thought that what they were telling me made sense, but it was intriguing. I had to have time and to listen to them at length. They left some books with me, and they left. And we decided that they would come later. They didn't wait for me to call them. They came back. They came back as someone who was saying, now it's time for us to act. But I understood later that I was very much receptive to what they were telling me. And this question, why, still was there. And I discovered slowly that previous to that, Maharishi and his colleagues had made a previous preparation into the country. They had prepared to create some sort of coherence, maybe in a narrow area, which I think had affected me positively. Then I learned that there's something more which is responsible for good things and for bad things. I read the books which they had left behind. I understood some of them. When they came back, Carly said, "It's amazing how you, just by reading, you understood this. Just by reading it, because there are not many who understand this by reading. They need to be explained." Well, I think that what made me to understand is the coherence which they had created before. Because there were already some meditators in Mozambique who were doing the job. Now I understood that we should try and create that field, that unified field, that coherence which they were speaking about, that which the books were speaking about. If we have to experiment, they said, no, it is not experimenting because it's a certainty. But I said, okay, let me use the word experiment on our side. But even to experiment, maybe it's good that we start by creating this field, this coherence at some extent. Because this coherence maybe is the responsible for the bad things and the good things. So I said that I would talk about what I knew to my ministers, one by one, just to inform them, and then ask one by one, do you want to try? Then I knew how to meditate. But before going to the ministers, I had called my wife, and we had learned together how to meditate. We had practiced together, and next we decided that we would call our children, and all of them had learned how to meditate together with their cousins, and more cousins and more cousins until they became a group. Then I went to my brothers, to my mother. My father couldn't make it because he was not feeling well already. But all my brothers, my mother, they all learned how to meditate. My sisters-in-law, some of them, learned how to meditate. So we decided that before we tried to create coherence elsewhere, we should try to create it among the family and then try to expand. Maybe it was for this reason that when I was talking to my ministers, I say, there's such a thing called transcendental meditation. They would speculate, they would say, oh, this thing of the Indians. Oh, these Indians. I said, no, but you don't know what it is. And I would try to explain a bit. After 3 or 5 minutes, the answer would come invariably, it is interesting. it is interesting. And one by one, they would join. So I didn't have to push them. No one was forced. They were queuing to see when it would be their turn. And so, one by one, they were trained in groups of 10, 12, together with their wives. At the beginning, I did not know what would be the reaction of their wives. I said, but tell your wives that you are going to meditate. If they want, don't force them. But invariably, each one would say, I want to do it. It means that that force was there already, compelling everybody to go and join the meditation. At the beginning, I did not explain many things. I just said that this will give you peace in your mind. It will give you relaxation in your body. So you do it. Only later, I started telling them that this will bring coherence in the society if we do it, all of us. And later, I explained. It's said that this will bring in a change in the climatic conditions. And it did. But someone came and said, well, change in climatic conditions. It's raining in Mozambique, but it's raining also in Zimbabwe. It's raining in South Africa. I said, precisely. It's written because the number of the practitioners is growing. And they did not know that we were doing the same thing in the army. And the soldiers were not forced to come into this. They just were told that there's a technique for the relaxation of mind and body. They don't know how much good they are doing to the whole society. I didn't want to reveal it because I wanted the numbers to grow. And we are now practicing this meditation in many towns of Mozambique, in Maputo, in Kilimani, Nampula, Chimoyo, Kwamba, and we intend to proceed. The most part of people practicing now, I may say, are in the army, but we intend to expand it to the villages, and I did talk with villagers who know nothing. I spoke for 5 minutes, and the villagers were saying, yes, we want to do it. Which means that coherence and unified field is being created. Here it was said that we have already achieved. In our humble way, we think that we still a way to go, so that we may present enough results. But we are happy to notice, although we did not make a scientific research, we are noticing that some kind of behavior of our population is changing.
Beautiful.
Crime. Crime, car accidents are changing. We still have to make a thorough study. But we can feel it. So I would like to say that who is responsible for the good things which are happening in Mozambique? It may be the Mozambicans who are there, but also these people in the world who have been meditating for the change of the world from bad to good. Therefore, the honors which are being bestowed on us are honors which should be bestowed upon all those who have practiced this technique of meditation. During my practices, I was taught by Jose Luis, Dr. King, Juan was still in Maputo, that knowledge is not something which one goes and buys somewhere else. Knowledge is in the head of everybody, even the ignorance. They have got the knowledge with them. What is necessary is to give them the technique to bring this knowledge to the surface. And in the practice, through Ayurveda, I came to understand that this was the truth. And I'm writing a small book, not on Ayurveda, not on transcendental meditation, but on something else which I will not reveal now. It's not scientific, social. And I could not resist to put the example of what I found about the communality of knowledge in the world. Dr. Sharma Vaidya from India came with Dr. Shiva, and they were trying to alleviate asthma from one of my nephews. And they said, well, he has to take an infusion of what they called Shirisha. I did not know what Shirisha was. Shirisha is an Indian name, a Sanskrit name, Shirisha. And we went around looking for Shirisha. And Jose Luis found Shirisha. He said, well, there's plenty of Shirisha here. I said, but what is Shirisha? And one day I went to a beach, and there I took my nephew, and I found the Shirisha tree. I said, but I know this tree. Everybody knows this tree. What I did not know is that this is a remedy. Jose Luis and the Vaidyas came. To confirm, asked them, is this the Shirisha? They said, yes. Then I looked at the trunk of the Shirisha tree, and I saw that it had several cuts, wounds which had healed, which shows that for tens of years, that tree was being utilized by someone as a remedy. So I asked people around if they knew Shirisha tree. They said, yes, we know it. They named it by the local name. And then they said, well, this is a remedy for many diseases. Some utilize the leaves, some utilize the trunk, some the roots, some the flowers, some the seeds. I said, well, this Indian knowledge is here in Mozambique. But more than that, a few days ago, before I came here, I was sitting with my mother-in-law, and I was explaining her about Shirisha. And she said, well, this is the same we were utilizing. But I said, but what do you cure about with this? She said, asthma. This is not written anywhere. And this is about people who are illiterate, who are utilizing this same knowledge. This makes me believe that even for deeper things, the knowledge is there. We have to find some way of awakening it. And I was taught that the way can be transcendental meditation. And so I'm still reading. I'm still reading, and I'm still in contact with this knowledgeable people. And I was happy to find the occasion to come to see the leader, today's leader of this technique, who so ably was able to bring this message, which was hidden somewhere in India, and he brought it to the world. Maharishi, Yogi. I was invited to come here. I was delighted. And by chance, I know that Kali is saying, no, there's no chance. Nothing is happening by chance. But well, English doesn't have another word. So I'll say, by chance, I had this date, the 3rd of July, free to come here. I was supposed to go to Rome, but something made the trip to Rome to be cancelled. And I informed His Holiness Maharishi that I could come on the 3rd. When I informed this to the representatives of Maharishi in Maputo, they said, how wonderful. The 3rd is the day of celebration. So you have chosen the correct day. I'm happy to be here and celebrate with you this full moon day. They have explained to me that if I still had some hair and I wanted to cut it, I should have to cut it this day because then they would grow beautifully. I hope that as we are thinking about the world, about Mozambique in this day of the full moon, this world will grow beautifully. People there asked me whether this was not a religion. Why should I be involved in such strange religion? But I had been explained, and I have dread that I may keep my religion. But I should take advantage of this science. For there is science here. And it is that science that I want to learn and to make the maximum use of it. And I think we will be able to make use of it. For we have the good support of Maharishi, of his followers, and we can say that that support of nature is with us. It's the support of nature which made us to come here on the 3rd of July. We will continue making appeal to the support of nature. We will not stop praying in our churches. We will not stop praying in our mosques. We will not stop praying in our synagogues. But we will make the appeal to the support of nature through the application of this science, to make use of the laws of nature. Because it's true, there are laws of nature. This is well explained. I can fully sense how I'm connected with you. I'm talking here. I'm far away from this gentleman there. But I feel that I'm connected with him. And I feel that all of us here, we are connected with those who are outside, even those who are not watching us on the television. But what for do we need this support of nature? What for we need this coherence, this unified field? We wanted to keep peace in the world. We have been fighting for freedom and peace. And we want peace in order to develop our country and to develop the world. Because only if every country gets development, we can speak about harmony. The evil and the good, it's not very often that they have harmony. There's an imbalance there. And so we want harmony. We have been always speaking about harmony in Southern Africa. And we have even created the conference to harmonize the development in Southern Africa. That's all of the Southern Africa has been fighting for freedom as one of the components, and fighting for development. We want a harmonious world. Therefore, we find that what is being done by the Maharishi universities goes in line with the search of a developing and harmonious world. That's why we are interested, because this means the well-being of the people. And we are not interested in anything else. It's not power. Because as I said at the beginning, we are not responsible for bringing any change. What are we going to care for power? We want power. If power is to kill, we don't need it. But if power is just something which we are asked by the society to exercise on their behalf for their well-being, then we accept it in that sense. Maybe this is the thought which is making peace to prevail in Mozambique. Because neither myself nor my ministers, my party leadership, none of us is seeking for power for the sake of power. We want peace in Mozambique and harmony, and we'll do all what we can. All what is necessary to keep peace in Mozambique, because peace will be the basis of development. Peace will be the basis of democracy. Peace will be the basis of human rights. Let us not discuss who is born first, whether the chicken or the egg. We want both peace and democracy, peace and human rights, peace and development, the well-being. But this peace will have to start from our own minds. It must be consubstantiated in this knowledge, and we will learn more from you so that we slowly go and reach that pure knowledge. Education to reach pure knowledge is of utmost importance. It was said by His Holiness here today. That's for that reason that we thank very much the Maharishi University of Iowa, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Which offered us 11 scholarships. And we are sending the first 11 students to the university to learn about many subjects. But I'm sure that there they will, during their stay, they will be able to learn how to get this pure knowledge, this powerful knowledge, so that they don't know boundaries to the possibilities of solving the problems of their country, Mozambique, of their continent, Africa. We don't pretend to be the best. What we pretend is to have the whole world to be the best. I would like to thank you by surprising me with this award, which I thought it would be given to these 11 students when they finished their courses. Yes, this came as a surprise, so I must ask for your indulgence if I have talked too long. The question is that I did not know what to say. Because this is too big to me, especially when I know that I am being watched by millions of people in the world through television. I did not know, first of all, that by accepting this invitation, I was accepting to come and receive this award. But less, even after I was informed, I never expected to get such a long message and such big responsibility to carry with me, with so many instructions. I hope that you are going to help me, not for my sake, but for the sake of the people of Mozambique, who suffered so much. Now it's time for the people of Mozambique to get rid of suffering to burn the suffering, as Maharishi said. Let us burn it together in Mozambique. Not only the suffering of the elderly people, but also the suffering of the children. Thousands of children are there without parents, without houses, without food. We have to rehabilitate them. Children are traumatized, and we are doing all our efforts. We don't want to see these children suffer. Let us, all of us, be the children, the fathers and the mothers of such children, and give them a pleasant life. We have to think also on the children from South Africa and elsewhere in the world where there are conflicts. We are sure that this unified field will cover all those areas. It's not our unified field, it's the unified field of the universe. Otherwise, it would not be a unified field. I will not say no more, but I would like to introduce my delegation by the way of saying that this delegation which is here, the ministers which were presented, except one who still didn't find his turn to go and learn how to meditate, but all of them are meditating. Even my staff in my office are all of them meditating. My diplomatic advisor, Mr. Madeira, my secretary, private secretary is meditating. My secretary there is meditating. The secretary of my wife there, she's meditating. And others can be mistaken. Who is there? In fact, my advisor for economic affairs is meditating. All the leadership of the party, high leadership of my party, is all of them, except one, are meditating. So we are giving our contribution. We are not making it all, but we are giving our contribution. We thank you for your support, and we will be always together. Thank you very much, Your Holiness. I forgot to say Jai Gurudev.
Very beautiful. Very beautiful, very genuine, very sincere sentiments from a sovereign ruler in the world. the time that witnesses even at least one sovereign ruler with the aspiration to create peace everywhere in the world is a unique time after thousands of years of world's history. What we witness today is that President Sicano is going to create balance of power in the world. Balance of power in the world has for thousands of years been in the destructive hands. Whosoever wanted to help the world, he wanted to own the territories. How many hundreds, thousands in the infinity of time have raided countries century after century. This power, balance of power in the world, in the destructive hands. Now this is the time today that a sovereign ruler in the world, in the midst of 100 sovereign countries, one sovereign ruler in the world is coming up to hold the balance of power in the nourishing hands of authority. That is certainly possible, and President Sicano is going to demonstrate to the world because his basis is profound. He has so beautifully realized the deepest value of support of natural law. With the support of natural law, a constitutional sovereign ruler in the world, even in one country, will have the legitimate authority of holding balance of power in the world, and now in the nourishing hands. Everything is possible through the support of nature. Everything is possible by enlivening the unified field in the national consciousness of one country, and because that phenomenon is a phenomenon of the field, which we know it reaches the entire world and is not limited to our globe. It reaches the whole ever-expanding universe, and the function of the government of nature. The government of nature now is with President Sicano for the peace in the world, for harmony in our globe, and for holding a balance of power after thousands of years in the nourishing hands of Mother Nature. It's a very good time when the universities, Vedic universities, have been inaugurated in the world for making everyone and every nation available that complete knowledge which has the lively creative potential of natural law, and that will be completely sufficient for the world of this generation, and on the beautiful foundation on the political level that President Sicano is going to create in the suffering political world today and the suffering political world of all many thousands of years, is going to provide a beautiful, beautiful, fertile ground for peace, happiness, harmony, progress, and bliss in the world. 24-hour bliss. This expression is very popular in the midst of all the students and professors of Vedic universities in the world, and that is going to be the foundation of living life from this generation on to all the generations in the world. I very much, with my full heart and full mind, congratulate again and again Dr. President Chisano Ramana. For giving a beautiful, beautiful lead in the world. And this celebration of today and the genuine sentiments of President Chisano to give to the world a very profound balance of power on the nourishing hands. This is the moment for the change of world's history, which has been not very pleasant history because the balance of power was in the cruel hands of destructive abilities. Times have changed. And beautiful, one sovereign ruler in the world who have the joy of his people, who is one with his nation, and who has the adoration of the millions of people, not only of the limited boundaries of Mozambique, but whole of South America, Africa, not only whole of South Africa, but whole of the Africa, and not only whole of the African continent, but all the continents in the world, and not only all continents in the world, but all the galaxies in the ever-expanding universe. The balance of power will be in the nourishing hands of natural law, directly coming from the government of nature, Mother Nature, represented by the First Lady of Mozambique today. We are very, very happy to have the great authority of a sovereign government coming up to challenge the destructive capabilities of so many existing nations in the world. And the support is, the strength is, in terms of invincible power of natural law, self-sufficient power of natural law, total potential of knowledge, that knowledge which has infinite organizing power, that infinite organizing power which is the nourishing power, all-time nourishing power of an exemplary ruler, Rama, hailing from the life-giving sun. The life-giving sun rules the whole solar system on the basis of its ability to nourish everyone, to put everyone on the path of evolution. This natural authority of ruling on the basis of nourishing, this has been so beautifully digested in the intelligence of President Chisano Rama, that the world has an example to follow. All the great presidents of China and United States and Russia and India and all the presidents of United States, I invite them all to follow the great sovereign ruler, President Chisano Rama. and the whole world, led by the enlightened family of the Vedic universities everywhere, are with me today to support peace in the whole world, practically emerging from the land of Mozambique. I would like to have all the expressions of support for creating world peace and creating a royal road to peace and prosperity, so that Dr. Chissano from the political field would ban suffering on earth.
At this moment, on this historic occasion, I would like to ask our representatives of Maharishi Vedic University, the University of Consciousness, to present Vedic ribbons to all the members of the delegation from Mozambique, of the President's honored family and cabinet and staff. And these Vedic ribbons will memorialize this occasion, this great moment of the presentation of this honorary degree in political science to His Excellency the President Chissano Rama, and also will remind us all perpetually of the magnificent words that he spoke to us just now, the universal wisdom and great sentiments of peace for the whole world family, that promises, as Maharishi said, that now the balance of power in the world will be in the nourishing hands of Mother Nature, and no more in the destructive powers that exist on this earth. So Vedic ribbons are now being presented to the ministers, or the members of the family, and the staff of the President. Please give our appreciation to the members of the delegation. At the same time, we'd like to go ahead and present to His Excellency President Chissano Rama the courses of Maharishi Vedic University that will be offered to his people in Mozambique to make it possible for the unified field of natural law to permeate every corner of the nation and radiate its great coherent, peacemaking, harmony-creating power to all of Southern Africa, to all of Africa, and to all of the world. So the courses are now being presented to His Excellency, including the core course on invincibility, enlightenment to every individual and invincibility to every nation, course on Maharishi's supreme political science,
Stand on this side.
course of Maharishi's science of creative intelligence and education, the role of educators in making the nation invincible, Maharishi's formula to raise the nation to invincibility through alliance with natural law, students to create invincibility for the nation, Maharishi's formula to raise the nation to invincibility through alliance with natural law, and the course of Maharishi's Vedic management, perfect management for full support of natural law. So this is the presentation of all the courses of Maharishi Vedic University to the President. I would now like to ask Dr. Tony Nader, who is the International President of the Maharishi Ayurveda Universities, to introduce the Maharishi Vaidyas to present Maharishi Amrit Kalash to His Excellency President Chissano Rama.
Your Holiness Maharishi, Your Excellency Dr. Chissano, distinguished guests, it is a great honor and a great pleasure today to offer to His Excellency Dr. Chissano Amrit Kalash, which is the vessel of immortality. This is symbolic of that power in nature, which is condensed in the actual reality of herbs and plants and minerals that have come from the ancient tradition of Ayurveda, that has been brought to light by His Holiness Maharishi to present to you this vessel of immortality, which contains Amrit Kalash, which is nourishing to the body, which has been proven scientifically to prevent disease, cure disease, and also eliminate the possibility of having disease in the future for prevention. And therefore, as a symbol of our great love and appreciation for your doing today, we'd like to present you this vessel and see that you are immortal, that you remain in a life that is long, long lived and that has no end. You have discovered and you have applied today a great law of nature. Even in the history, when we look at great empires and great times, we realize that even when one law of nature is discovered, this makes a breakthrough in society, this makes people happier. Some discovery of how to fly an airplane, or how to dive in the ocean, or how to use electricity, or how to use such and such law, even one little law after another has made life for people different and possible to be better and more happy on earth. But today you have discovered that there is a potential, there is a way, there is an actuality in which we can use the totality of the laws of nature. All the total laws of nature that are conducting the perfect order in the totality of the universe can be unfolded and awakened in every individual awareness. So every individual will be able to spontaneously act in accordance with the laws of nature. Society will be able to act in accordance with the laws of nature, and therefore that great discovery of this time will be remembered forever. Will be remembered absolutely forever. In thousands of years it will be said that on the 3rd of July, Dr. Chisano, President Chisano, received this honorary degree on that special occasion for the great work that he has done in establishing that the rule through actions through natural law, that gaining natural law in one's awareness is possible, that it is possible to control life, to act in life in a nourishing way, and to dominate in a powerful way, but the power of nourishment, the power of giving, the power of unfolding natural law in every aspect of life. This is really a great time, and we pledged from all Maharishi Ayurveda universities around the world, from all the knowledge that is available, that we will support Mozambique, we will support you, we are behind you with all our knowledge, all our universities, to see that world peace is established on a permanent basis, that we talk about and hear about as being heaven is brought out on a living reality on earth, and that you are doing. You have already developed the inner development of life, which is the source that makes the tree nourished, that which makes all the trees fruitful. Therefore, it is really great to see our Vaidyas present to you this vessel of immortality, wishing you a long, long life in the direction of immortality, so that you may be with us and with all generations to come to bring heaven on earth in every part of the world. So we thank you very much, and we hope that in thousands of years we will be together celebrating heaven on earth. Jai Gurudev.
Thank you very much, Dr. Neda. And now we wish to make presentations on behalf of all the nations that are here represented today. And I will ask the leaders of those nations now to start coming forward to make their pledge and their promise of support to His Excellency the President. He asked for our support today, and I think that in truth his inspiring words have created to a new degree a great and passionate desire to give all help that we can to Mozambique and to his great efforts and that of his government to introduce this wonderful knowledge to all the people of Mozambique. So I would like to ask now the national leaders to all come forward and present their wishes to His Excellency President Chissano Rama. As they are coming forward, I'll mention that in Washington, D.C., along with the thousand-headed Purusha and Mother Divine and the 2,700 yogic flyers who are in Washington, is the Supreme Patriarch today of Cambodia, the Supreme Patriarch of the Buddhists of Cambodia, and he is also being joined there by the Deputy Patriarch of Cambodia. So we are very happy that connected by satellite to this broadcast is His Holiness Sam Dech Brea, Sangha Raja Rep Vong, the Supreme Patriarch of Cambodia, and with him His Holiness Mongkol Thep Pe Achar Sam, who is the Deputy Patriarch of Cambodia. So now I will ask to come forward representing Thailand, Cambodia. Come forward and represent Cambodia. Yes. Mr. Charan will represent Cambodia.
Count the names. We will not have time. Names of the country.
45 minutes more.
Huh?
We have till 6 o'clock, so we may...
All right. All right.
Your Holiness,
They extended the time of the broadcast.
Your Excellency, as the national leader of Maharishi's movement in Cambodia, and on behalf of the 7 million people of Cambodia, I, Buddhacharya Charan, bring warmest greetings from the people of my country and wishes for your long life and perfect health, and joyfully pledge to Your Excellency our full support for the complete economic development of your beloved Mozambique. Jai Guru.
On behalf of Germany, Mrs. Eickhoff will make her pledge.
Good. Present. From Cambodia.
As a national leader of Maharishi's movement in Germany, and on behalf of 82 million people of Germany, I, Mrs. Ilse Eickhoff, bring warmest greetings from the people of my country and wishes for you a long life and perfect health, and joyfully pledge in your Excellency our full support for the
Germany.
complete economic development of your beloved Mozambique. That is a symbol of Germany. Is a symbol for peace in Germany, and is called, wie heißt das noch? Ja, wie heißt Sieg. Wie heißt sie? Victory. Oh, excellent. Victory. Victory for Mozambique.
On behalf of the United Kingdom, Joy Benson.
As the national leader of Maharishi's movement in the United Kingdom, and on behalf of the 59 million people of the United Kingdom, I, Mrs. Joy Benson, bring warmest greetings from the people of my country and wishes for your long life and perfect health, and joyfully pledge to Your Excellency our full support for the complete economic development of your beloved Mozambique. Jai Gurudev.
On behalf of Thailand, Kirkchai Charoen Rajapak.
As the national leader of Maharishi's movement in Thailand, and on behalf of the 55 million people of Thailand, I, Kirkchai Charoen Rajapak, bring warmest greetings from the people of my country and wishes for your long life and perfect health, and joyfully pledge to Your Excellency our full support of the complete economic development of your beloved Mozambique. Jai Gurudev.
And now on behalf of Sweden, Mr. Thomas Enhager.
Som nationell ledare för Maharishis rörelse i Sverige och å de 8 miljonerna invånarnas vägnar i Sverige så vill jag framföra de varmaste lyckönskningar och hälsningar från människorna i mitt land. Och jag önskar er ett långt liv, en perfekt hälsa och till er excellens och fullt stöd för totalt ekonomisk utveckling i ert vackra Mozambique och alla barn som kommer att leva där i framtiden.
On behalf of Italy, Antonio Grimoldi.
Come leader nazionale del movimento di Maharishi in Italia e per conto dei 60 milioni di persone dell'Italia, io Antonio Grimaldi porto i migliori e cordiali saluti dalla popolazione dell'Italia, del mio paese, e desidero e auguro una lunga vita, salute perfetta e gioia alle vostre eccellenze per un pieno supporto di uno sviluppo economico completo per il vostro beneamato Mozambico. Jai Gurudev.
On behalf of Taiwan, Annie Huang.
请代表中华民国马赫西的这个 movement。我们中华民国有20万的人口，在此呢，希望我们的友邦莫赞比克这个国家国家领袖能够长寿健康，希望我们祝福莫赞比克的国家能够永远强壮，永远的繁荣。在此代表我们整个中华民国，在此跟我们的总统致谢。
On behalf of Turkey, Mahmut Gurki.
Maharishi'nin Türkiye'deki hareketinin ulusal lideri olarak ve 60 milyon Türk halkı adına ben Mahmut Görkey, Türk halkının en iyi dileklerini ve size uzun ömürlü, sağlıklı bir yaşam diler. Sevgili Mozambik'in ekonomik gelişmesinin tamamlanması için tam desteğimizi sunarız.
On behalf of the United States of America, Dr. John Bonchef.
On behalf of Maharishi's movement in the United States, and on behalf of the 260 million people of the United States, I, Dr. John Bonchef, bring warmest greetings from the people of my country and wishes for your long life and perfect health, and joyfully pledge to Your Excellency our full support for the complete economic development of your beloved Mozambique. And we have to present to him a book which is the 100 universities in the United States that are being inaugurated today, with photographs of each of our buildings and then the recognition by the appropriate state government of Maharishi Vedic University and Maharishi Ayurveda University.
Dr. Bonchev is the president of Maharishi Vedic University for the entire United States. And now, Marco Stiefel from Switzerland.
As the national leader of Maharishi's movement in Switzerland, and on behalf of the 6.8 million of Switzerland, I, Marco Stiefel, bring warmest greetings from the people of my country and wish for you long life and perfect health, and a joyful pledge to Your Excellency our full support of the complete economic development of your beloved Mozambique. I have here a traditional bell, cowbell from Switzerland, which symbolizes peace and symbolizes also invincible peace.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful.
And representing
cowbells of Switzerland. Cowbells of Switzerland, very good, beautiful.
Representing Norway, Odd Lasset.
From Norway.
Som nasjonal leder for Maharishis bevegelse i Norge, og på vegne av det norske folk på 4,2 millioner, så bringer jeg de varmeste lykkønskninger fra mitt land, og ønsker deg et langt liv mot perfekt helse. Og med glede så gir jeg min støtte for Deres Eksellens, at du skal få full økonomisk utvikling i ditt elskede Mosambik. Jai Gurudev.
And representing France, Benoit and Betty Frappé.
En tant que leader national du mouvement de Maharishi en France, et au nom des 58 millions de Français, nous, Betty et Benoît Frappé, apportons les vœux les plus chaleureux de la part du peuple de mon pays, de notre pays, et souhaitons une longue vie et une santé parfaite et la totale assurance à son Excellence du plein soutien pour un développement économique complet dans votre bien-aimé Mozambique.